Welcome! My face cam is back. The camera has been kind of out for a few days because the battery decided that it doesn't want to work anymore. Got a new one. Everything's working good. Let's get right into this video because today we are probably going to make a lot of people angry and in this video I want to talk about what happens when the consoles die. Now, I know what you're going to say. No, you can't say that. Consoles are going to live forever. I mean, consoles master. Everybody should be on consoles. But if you think about it, there are a few things that are kind of iffy about consoles existing in the distant future. I mean, in the near future, of course. Consoles are going to be made for a long time yet. But in the far future, what do you guys expect to happen to consoles? Personally, I think that they're going to die off, and I want to talk about that today, kind of give some history, kind of let you see what's been happening with gaming so far. So let's get right into the video. I hope you guys like it. Leave a like, leave a subscription. It really does help me out. So what we need to do is we need to look right now what has happened with console gaming so far over the years. Now, everything really started out around the Atari, the Nintendo, the Super Nintendo, the Sega Genesis, like all these really, really old school consoles. And it kind of is what gave console gaming and gaming in general its huge boost in the world today. And I mean, look where gaming is now. It's enormous. And then we got into the Xbox, the GameCube, the PlayStation era, where like the early 2000s when gaming started really changing and really kind of getting you more of that immersive game that kind of changed it up a little bit more. I mean, I know it happened a little bit before, like with Doom and all of that, but when we started getting into the early years of Call of Duty, Gears of War, Battlefield, when they actually had these games that were looking a lot different from what we have seen in the past years, it kind of jumped a little bit at that point. Now the era of the high-end gaming PCs, the Xbox One, the PlayStation 4, and I mean VR even still, virtual reality is coming up pretty soon here for the common consumer. All of these consoles have been released since '72 up until now. So it hasn't been a huge gap of time that these things have been getting released, these consoles. They're still technically a fresh idea. Gaming technically is still a fresh idea compared to other things. Games were very simple in the early 70s and the early 80s. It was a very casual experience, and usually you would just move across the screen. It was a very casual gaming experience. Collecting stuff, destroying stuff. Boom, 70s and 80s in gaming. But what does all this mean about consoles kind of getting pushed out in the future? What does all that mean? So think about it like this. Photos, dictionaries, phone books, recording on a VHS tape. All of these things were amazing at the time. I mean, they were things that we couldn't live without. I mean, taping on a VHS, we had to have a stack of VHS so we could record CSI Miami and watch it later on that evening. I mean, you had to have it. And if you didn't have a phone book, you basically didn't have a job. I mean, they were kind of things that we needed. But over time, things get better. Things improve. And yes, you can say just from the Xbox to the Xbox 360 to the Xbox One, and the same with PlayStation on up, these are improving. But everything has a time and a time to end. Okay, so what are the major things that we're seeing now in gaming and seeing how this has changed, and so we can see into the future, maybe we can predict a little bit of what's going to happen then. So gaming now, very competitive, very visually stimulating. I mean, look at the new maps in Call of Duty. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but like the Splash map, the Nuketown, look at the colors in these games. It's in these maps. It's so visually stimulating. Everybody needs to be constantly stimulated now in games to be entertained. That is the path that I think it's going to be taking. Everything needs to get more stimulating. Everything needs to be more immersive. And that's where VR kind of jumped in at this point. I do think it's a little bit early for VR to really take off, but the immersion, you need to have your hands on. You need to be very, very mesmerized by games nowadays. But there's also one other thing that has came along that I'm seeing a lot more of lately. And that is pixel art style games, going back in time, getting those across the screen kind of games. Games like Super Brothers, Mercenary Kings came out in like 2014. I mean, that's a really new game. Rogue Legacy, there's a whole list of them that I can list off, but these games are actually coming back, and it's more of an art style compared to a visually stimulating, competitive, Call of Duty kind of game. It's more of an art style casual game, and that is a kind of a gaming trend that's happening right now. So future gaming, this is really kind of what I think is going to happen. People aren't going to stop gaming. It's not going to be like gaming is a trend, like phone books were a trend, or horse and buggy was a trend until cars came around. Gaming isn't a trend. Gaming is going to be something that is going to stick around, and if it changes in the future, it changes, but it's still gaming, you know? It's kind of like computers. Computers aren't going to go away. Computers change. And that kind of brings me into PCs. PCs are never going to die. You will always have some sort of PC device in your house, but consoles have a timeline, I feel. Consoles are going to die eventually. 20, 30, 40, 50 years down in the future, I mean, I don't know when, but I feel that they will die eventually. Just like phone books, 24-hour photos, they will. And as these gaming consoles start losing more and more money as the time goes on, PC is going to get more exclusives for games. Like the Ubisoft isn't going to be able to sell to Xbox, or they're not going to be able to sell only to PlayStation. And then these PC master race scammers or these gaming websites are just going to pick up these people and be like, you know, here's $6 billion. I mean, we're striving. People are dying on consoles. Come give your games to us. And then people are going to slowly start moving over to that PC style gaming. But that doesn't mean that in the future consoles will die right then at that point. I do feel that eventually Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo, if Nintendo is still around in the future, might start combining their efforts in trying to save the console. Because instead of having all of this competition and having specific markets and not making enough money, I don't know why they wouldn't just combine all their efforts to make a very, very like ultra console versus the ultra PC, you know? And that is something that I do foresee happening in the future. And then eventually that PC or that style, maybe not even just a PC, but maybe it's just computer-based gaming, is going to push off consoles. In the future, when the PCs are going to be becoming more cheap for parts and everything becomes more mass quantities so they can lower the prices, it's going to be a lot easier to be able to make a really nice gaming rig. And when that time happens, consoles are just going to struggle even more than they are today. So that's what I see happening with consoles in the future. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Leave a like on this video. It really does help me out. I hope you guys liked the video. I will see you guys later.